closest the street.
I'm gonna take a look at that one.
No, let me know right now.
Okay.
No, it's together, because you can't silence it like you can on work.
Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen.
Good afternoon.
How are we doing today? Come out on this rainy day, right? Well, thank you for all of you for coming today. This is an important meeting, and I want to thank a few people for help putting this together. Our general manager always supports having as much interaction as we possibly can with such important topics. Board of directors, absolutely. Mike Palmier from the Fitness Center. Mike has invited Debbie from Memory Matters, and when we talk about health, we talk about all of it, right? We talk about our physical health and our mental health, you know? So we're going to cover 3 topics today, okay? We're going to cover safety and security, which we have Lieutenant Calendine from the Beaufort County Sheriff's Office. Lieutenant Calendine, we've known each other for a long time, and he works with many of the communities in this area. He's part of our security directors organization, so we share a lot of information. And it's just amazing what's been happening with cyber security and cyber concerns. He was here to speak in February, but there was many speakers that day, and we wanted him to give a full presentation and also give the time necessary for anyone to ask the questions. We also have Sergeant Serenko. We've worked together for a long time as well, and he's going to speak in regards to safety issues when it comes to what we can do to prevent our loved ones from getting lost, from just wandering away. There's so many things that the Sheriff's Office do. It's a great program that they have as well. So he's going to speak about that as well. And we also have Debbie from Memory Matters. And she's going to give a presentation and also take some questions on it. Again, it's the support that we all need when memory concerns do become a factor. We've all dealt with it. A few years ago, I got certified with NAMI, which is the National Association of Mental Illness, which also includes memory concerns. So we've got a lot of experience in this, unfortunately, and we want you all to know also that you're not alone in this, and we're all experiencing this in one way, in one aspect or another. So I'm going to turn it over to Lieutenant Calendine, and please feel free at any time. Ask some questions of any of us here, and enjoy the rest of the afternoon.
Good afternoon. Hello. All right, can everyone hear me in the back? I don't need
The microphone is on, if you want to use it.
Can everyone hear me? Do I need to use the mic? Okay. You can't hear me. Okay.
We're fine.
Oh, you're good. Okay. All right. So I'm Lieutenant Eric Calendine. I'm with the Beaufort County Sheriff's Office. I've been with the Sheriff's Office for 25 years now. Currently assigned to Southern Investigations, which is Okeechobee, Bluffton, Hilton Head, and DeFusky. I've been assigned to all different throughout my career in patrol, investigations, SWAT, dive team, high crimes units. So I've been very fortunate. The sheriff has allowed me to be a part of these different operations. But my big passion in the last probably 10 years has been fraud and scams. I've gone to numerous communities talking about these scams because they're ever evolving, ever changing. They keep getting, unfortunately, worse and worse, and more people lose money. And so it's been a really key aspect of trying to help prevent that next person from losing money. Before we get started, Beaufort County Sheriff's Office has many different ways to get connected with the Sheriff's Office. There's all the different social media platforms that we have. We also have something called Low Country Lowdown, which is a weekly, almost like a brief newscast that we put out on social media, talking about what's going on in the area. There might be an event coming up, or crime trends, or even scams. So that's offered for free. It comes out on Friday. Every Friday they put it out, Low Country Lowdown. Next one, we have the CPA. Has anyone been part of the CPA before? Citizen Police Academy? Oh, okay. 9-week program the Sheriff's Office offers for free, where you get to go and see all the aspects of the Sheriff's Office, from patrol to investigations to courthouse. You get to go meet with all the people in emergency management. So it's a good idea of how a Sheriff's Office works, and it's offered free program. If you want to be able to participate in it, it's on our website. You can sign up for it. They offer it twice a year, north and south of the Broad River, so it actually meets in 2 different locations. But the big one here today is scams. Like I said, let's kind of wait till the end to ask questions so I can get through the presentation. Wait till the end to give questions. I'm sure there'll be plenty of them. But again, this is a $158 billion enterprise. It gets worse every year. More and more financial companies are reporting this, more victims are reporting the scams. It becomes more elaborate as we start getting into new technologies. But you need to realize that if they are targeting you, you are the target audience. The FTC puts out every year a snapshot of the losses we have. The significant ones here is they report, I'm sorry, I can't use my thing, but phone calls, the median loss of phone calls has gone up. It's $1,500 usually lost in a phone call scam. You really need to realize in Beaufort County it's about $4,000. $4,000 is a median for us in a phone call scam. They say in a given year, 1 in 18 cognitively attacked adults is a victim of a scam. It's probably 1 in 10, because a lot of people don't report it to us. They're scared, they don't want to tell their family and friends, they want their neighbors to know. They think that we're going to put it out in the news that Mrs. Smith, who lives next door, lost X amount of dollars. We don't do that. We may report that someone lost money in a scam, but we're not going to put the victim's name on there, not going to put an address. We might put, they live in a community, Sun City, but we don't put who they are, because we don't want to victimize them anymore. But it's important to get that information out to others to say, hey, this scam's going on. There are people who lost money. So, it's easier to go after your money than to rob a bank. When's the last time we had a bank robbery in Beaufort County? Anybody know? No? 2016. 2016 is the last time we had a bank robbery in Beaufort County. That's over 10 years ago, plus it was before COVID. Think about COVID times. You can go into a bank with a mask on. And we didn't have bank robberies during COVID times. I can't believe we didn't have more bank robberies, but we did. But the bad guys know it's easier to target your money than to actually rob a bank. And it's important as we go forward and learn these things is they realize that if they steal money from the bank, the FBI gets involved, federal government. If they take your money, it's local law enforcement, maybe the federal government if it depends on the money amount, and they think you can get away with it more because it's only one person that law enforcement has to try to track down. The bad guys go after cognitive behavior. So when they're doing these tactics and these playbooks on the scams, they target certain things. They target your fear, your pressure, loneliness, and confidence. They're going after those 4 aspects when they facilitate that scam in different techniques. And we'll talk a few about those techniques as we move forward. By the way, before I get started, I meant to jump ahead. You don't necessarily take notes on this. This whole presentation is for free. I will email it to you. There's a lot of data on here that I'll skip through, but if you want to get this presentation, I'll email it to you for free. I don't hold
If you'll just email it to me, I'll give you my email.
Okay.
We'll put it on our
Absolutely.
member website.
Yep. I'll email it out so you don't have to worry about taking notes because I do jump through some slides that it's important to go back later on and be able to take a look at, okay? All right, why are you guys being targeted? You have all the assets, you have all the money, right? You have this big bullseye on you, on your back, that they're trying to get your money. You might be established, have the established assets, you might be isolated and lonely, you might be unfamiliar with financial matters, you might be reluctant to report a crime like we talked about, you might have disabilities that make you dependent on others for help. What are the consequences of these? Obviously the financial impact of the loss, right? But you have the mental aspect that we don't talk about, and a lot of people get caught up in the mental aspect. And the big one down at the bottom, if you can see it, it's highlighted, a 300% increase in death due to these scams. Why is that a target number? Because of the mental and health of these scams. We have victims who lose a lot of money and they can't stop thinking about it. So we have a victim right now, he's 83 years old, he lost $30,000 cash, okay? He can't stop thinking about that incident, that scam, how he was targeted, how he lost that money. He's not sleeping, he's not eating, he starts losing weight. He lost 30 pounds in 3 months. And he was a gentleman who was kind of slender, so he couldn't lose 30 pounds. His doctor called the sheriff's office, asked what was going on. I talked to the doctor, he's like, listen, I've stopped the financial impact. I may not be able to get the money back, but he's not losing any more money. But I can't help him mentally. That's something that I can't help, that's a different realm. He needs to talk to somebody about this. He needs to get help, assistance. And time again, we're having victims who fall into this trap, and they just can't stop thinking about the scam. I have a lady who just emailed me before I came in and started this presentation. She's been scammed through a bug company locally, and I'm trying to get her help, but she's like, I have to stop. My health is just going downhill. I can't do this anymore. She is so distraught. Lives by herself. She fell victim to somebody, bug guy coming to her house. I won't get into the details, but she is spiraling downhill. And now I got to figure out what I can do to get her, what resources are out there to help her, because she just can't stop thinking about it. She's not eating, she's not sleeping. I see where this is going. day in and day out, because the amount of emails she sends me, she's frantic. She is frantic right now. So it's important to realize if you have a friend's family who's a victim of a scam, to get them help mentally. Psychologically, this is going to be something that we see more and more, deterioration of health. All right, top scams from 24 to 25. Geek Squad is one of the biggest ones, and it comes in different forms. Could be Geek Squad, you could get a text message, hey, we're Geek Squad, it's time to renew your software, or we need to update your computer. Or you might get an email, hey, it's time, click here to verify your Geek Squad account, or set up an appointment. You could get a phone call from them, saying, hey, we're with Geek Squad, it's yearly subscription time, we need to update your computer, we need to get access. Or they might say, you might type in into a search bar, in your Google search bar, Geek Squad customer support. And you need to realize that the first 4 or 5 items that you put in on a search bar when you put in Geek Squad customer support are sponsored events, sponsors. They're not the real Geek Squad. And they're going to say sponsor. So if you put in HP customer support, Microsoft customer support, you need to realize those first 4 or 5 items on that search results on the top are sponsors. That's people who pay to be on top of the food chain in a sense. And that could be a scammer. Right away, could be a scammer. So you need to be careful when you're asking for customer support to make sure you're actually clicking on getting that right phone number. Amazon customer support, call, text message. I'm sure we've gotten all these text messages from Amazon customer support. Did you order that new Apple iPhone 16 for $1,600? You click here. They're just trying to fish for you to, take the bait, to click on that hyperlink, to click on that text message, to take you to some portal that you think is Amazon, but it's not. It's basically a fake page of Amazon. They're having you enter your account information. So you need to be very careful when you get these emails from any company, any text message or email from a company. It could be your bank, it could be Amazon, Geek Squad. Don't click on the hyperlink, don't click on the text message. Close out your browser, open up a new window, go into your own account. Don't look at your emails, because 99% of them are going to be scam. I'm sure you guys get emails every day, on your accounts. So be careful on that. Virus protection refund, kind of the same way. You might get a call or an email from a Microsoft customer alert. You might get an Norton antivirus. Somewhere they're trying to renew your software subscription to that company. As we have time and time again, people fall victim to the customer support with antivirus software. Mail theft and forgery. We've had a ton of mail theft in Beaver County. A ton. And they are targeting every day looking for checks. What do they have when they have your check? They've got your account number, your routing number, and all your personal information, right? So you need to be careful when you're sending checks out, you verify their cash where they're supposed to go. So if you send a check out to the light bill to pay your power company for $100, you need to verify through your banking records that it actually was cashed by the power company and not by Mrs. Smith for $1,000. And it's happening time and time again. We're having our mail carriers approached by people saying, hey, I will give you $1,000 a month if you just pull checks out for me. And we've had mail carriers approached for it. We've had mail carriers do it and get arrested for it. We've had mail carriers and personnel who actually work in the post office arrested for the same thing, stealing mail. It's prevalent. It happens here. As many times as we catch somebody, someone steps right up to do the same thing. How many people have lost gift cards and checks in the mail already? Anybody? Okay, so it's happening. Look around the room, people have been victim to it. So you need to verify those checks that go out. It's very important. And don't, if you're going to put checks, I would tell you don't put it in your car, in your mailbox with a little red flag up that's telling people, hey, I'm sending checks out, right? Go to the post office. Go inside and put it inside the post office. The blue box is outside. Unfortunately, they're being targeted and they cut open the back, or they use sticky paper to go down the middle and pull mail out through sticky paper. It's happening. Is there a blue box in Moss Creek?
No.
Okay. Is that something you can ask for?
We can, but we typically mail it right out of administration.
I'm just saying for all the residents in here, there's some communities that actually have a blue box inside the community. Might be something to look for to see if they can put a blue box somewhere right next to the administration building with a camera on it.
Absolutely.
Just because of this issue that we're having. Something to think
We
about.
can definitely inquire.
A blue box, where you go put your mail on. You drop your mail. Big mailbox, blue.
So what does that make it any safer? You just said sometimes they.
Well,
where
so
it is.
if you put it in an area where it's kind of under surveillance, they don't target it.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Grocery store distractions. This is a technique for the ladies. They come, you're on the shopping cart and don't go down an aisle. You got your purse right there in the cubby basket. They target. They'll try to have somebody come distract you. They'll make you turn away from your purse. Somebody else will come in, steal a couple of credit cards, debit cards from your purse. By the time you get to the register, they've already hit Sam's Club, Walmart, Best Buy for purchases. So if you're going to put your purse in the shopping cart, recommend zip it up. Some people actually said to actually seatbelt it in to the shopping cart buggy. Just be careful when you go back out to your car that you remove your purse from the shopping cart, okay? Don't leave it in the shopping cart. But they are targeting, we've had several instances of this, where they're targeting people to distract them away from their purse to get credit cards out of the purse. Bank account compromise and federal investigation, again, it's these different things that they're trying to convince you of your accounts. It could be the email from Wells Fargo saying your account's been compromised, verify now. It could be somebody from the FBI calling you saying, hey, your social security number is attached to some cartel information, your social security number, your accounts are compromised. We need you to move your money to a safeguarded account because the cartel and our investigation, we're going to seize that account. They're going to make you believe that there's some kind of federal investigation and that you need to remove your money now. Putting that pressure on you through this confidence.
Well, how do we, excuse me, but how do we verify that's?
We're going to talk about that.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll get there. All right. Jury duty arrest. How many people got the jury duty? You missed jury duty. You're under your, oh, okay. So this one typically goes is, you might get a text message or a phone call, and there's mostly phone calls. It might say, hi, I'm Lieutenant Eric Caldine with the Beaufort County Sheriff's Office. You missed jury duty last month. We have a warrant for your arrest, and you might get actually a text message from me with a picture of a warrant with your name on it, signed by PJ Tanner, and it says, hey, you need to now turn yourself in because you missed jury duty. And this has been going on for years. It keeps getting more and more elaborate. Good thing to know is we don't issue warrants for people who miss jury duty. We put you on the next month. If you miss this month, we're going to put you on the next month, okay? But we don't issue warrants. The federal government doesn't issue a warrant. Out of Charleston with the federal jury there. But we have people fall time and time again believing they missed something. That, oh no, we got a signature or a voicemail telling us that you acknowledged this jury duty. You signed a signature a month ago, 2 months ago, and people fall victim to it. That they think that they missed jury duty and there's a warrant for their arrest. And they'll say, oh, there's a gag order, you have to stay on the phone with me until you get to the sheriff's office. And they'll know, once when you get close to the sheriff's office, they're like, well, you can get out of this if you go and do X, Y, and Z. We'll go buy gift cards, go to the crypto ATM down the street, whatever it is that they're going to try to facilitate that scam. Toll plaza. How many people got the toll plaza scam? A gentleman earlier just showed me. That's another issue. They're just trying to have you click on the hyperlink, right? It looks like it says southcarolina.dmv.gov / all this different numerology to it. The federal, the state government, toll plaza groups, all these places, they don't know your information through how to text you that you missed your toll. That's just a scam. Even the letter you might get in the mail is also could be a scam. So be careful when you actually get a letter in the mail. You may have a picture of your tag in the back, saying, hey, you went through a toll in Atlanta, you need to pay this toll. So probably you need to verify that because that's also been a scam running around. The missing tolls and they have a picture of your tag. Simple to do, and unfortunately the bad guy can look up your information to find out what kind of vehicle you have, your tag number through a public index. So just be careful if you get a letter in the mail, obviously the text is, and even an email. Again, they're just trying to scam you, try to get you access to your accounts by you clicking on a link. All these scams we talked about in the last couple of years has been different ways to get the money from you. It used to be gift cards or Western Union, went into PayPal, these cash apps, wire transfers, but now it's moved to cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency is a new game changer when it comes to fraud and how these bad guys steal your money. And it's harder for law enforcement to retrieve that money because cryptocurrency is a digital currency. It doesn't exist. I can't touch it. It doesn't exist. It just happens. It's up in a digital world. Bad guys know that because it's harder to trace and harder to seize. So last year, we lost $3.1 million in Beaufort County alone, given all these scams put together. $3.1 million in cryptocurrency. Has everyone know what a cryptocurrency ATM looks like?
No.
Good, well that's okay, I'm going to show you right now. Okay, these are cryptocurrency ATMs. If you look at it, this is the Bitcoin ATM, this is Rocket Coin, Flipcoin. They look like ATMs. The thing is, you can put money in, but you can't get money out. Okay, and they usually put them right next to a regular ATM. So they'll put them right next side by side. But what's this one over here? What's this one right here? Coinstar, where do you see that at? Grocery stores, right? Kroger, Food Lion, Publix, Walmart, where you can put your change in the machine and get a receipt to go to the counter to go get your cash, but you can also buy cryptocurrency from these machines. Scary. The transaction fee for these machines is 18%. Is that a good investment? 18%? So I had a victim, 75 years old, put $30,000 into this machine. Now $30,000 all in hundreds takes a little while to put in the machine. So he sat there for about 20 minutes, feeding this machine, hundreds at a time, feeding it, feeding it. He was getting tired because he's just sitting there crouched over feeding this machine. He, out of the $30,000, $6,000 was the transaction fee. Is that a good investment? Does anyone go, I want to spend $30,000 to invest my money, but $6,000 is going to go to the transaction fee? It's not a good investment. These machines right here only operate and help in the sense of the bad guy. They're good for narcotics, they're good for human trafficking, and they're good for scams. Because nobody is going to go to the gas station and go pump gas and go, you know what, I need to buy crypto today. I forgot to buy my crypto. Or go inside and buy cryptocurrency and pay 18% on the transaction. They're predatory. And we're trying to put legislation against these machines. A lot of states have it. We're working on it in South Carolina to combat this because $3.1 million in Beaufort County alone last year. Think about statewide, think nationwide. It's an epidemic in this fraud. We're at 1.7 right now in Beaufort County for this year, 1.7. We're going to beat last year's results. And we don't have anything in place yet. We're trying to get it in, legislation put in to combat these. You can only put $1,000 in a day. If you're new to crypto, you have to wait 32 to 60, 72 hours before the transaction goes through. Or hopefully we can catch up to you, make sure, hey, this might be a scam. We're trying to put all these things in place because this stuff is just rampant. The amount of money that goes through, and law enforcement has a hard time tracking this. And if we trace it, it's usually going into a third world country to an exchange that we don't have any jurisdiction in. All right, other types of scams. Medicare health-related scams. The funeral cemetery scams. Reverse mortgages. Who's on TV right now promoting reverse mortgages? Tom Selleck, right? Magnum PI, Mr. Blue Buds, right? I'm not saying the reverse mortgage is a bad thing. You need to learn. Unfortunately, you can lose your home. And a lot of victims who fall for the reverse mortgage scam is a romance scam, where that person says, "Oh no, you can't lose your home. It's your house. It's your money," and the person will wipe through those savings of that reverse mortgage, and they'll lose their home. We've had it a couple times in Beaufort County, and it's devastating. The amount of loss because of a romance scam. You have the phishing and scareware scams, divestment schemes, telemarketing scams, the grandparent scam, which we'll get at the end. That's really a more of an AI version of what's going on with the grandparent scam. We'll talk more at the end. And then sweepstakes and lottery scam. I always ask this question: how can you win the lottery if you don't play the lottery? Right? Well, we have victims who fall for it. They think that phone call. They think of the whole Publishers Clearinghouse. A van showing up with a check and balloons, and everyone's going rah rah rah, and they fall victim to it. All you have to do is pay $30,000 on your winnings in taxes. People will go and withdraw money and flight exit to a location. They think they've won $500 million, but it's actually a scam. And the last one down here, the two that I have, romance scams and social media scams. Again, there's a lot of lonely people in Beaufort County. And it's not only just romance scams, it's social media scams. It's somebody who you're just talking to in the social media realm. We had a lady who recently just commented on a band that she liked. "I really enjoyed your concert last night, it was great." 2 days later, she gets a message from the general manager saying, "Oh, the lead singer's so thankful you commented on the post. He would like to reach out and talk to you. Would you like that?" She's like, "Sure." So she starts interacting with this gentleman who she believes is the lead singer of this band. They talk for 2 months, just talking about band stuff, and then all of a sudden, something happened where the management had withdrawn, or basically shut their accounts down, and they were in contract negotiations, and he had no access to money. And he asked if he could get $10,000 for her, because he's going to pay her back once they get their contract renewed. And then she sent him $10,000. A month goes by, they're still talking. "Oh, we're almost done with the contract. We've got a lawyer. We're going to get 3 times the amount. I will pay you back double what I owe you. Can you just send me another $10,000? She sends another $10,000. This is just a simple talking relationship. So what she had, who she believes is a singer for a band. But it spiraled downhill quickly that she's just sending him money. Feels bad for him. They talk every day. So again, social media realms, you need to realize there's a ton of bad actors out there that all they're doing is searching posts all day to try to get you to be friends with them. Not only just romance-wise, but just friends, or that person you think you went to high school with. It's not them, it's a fake account they set up. Again, you just got to be careful of the bad actors out there in social media realm. We'll quickly go through these. We talked about before, the Geek Squad, you might get that letter, email from them. Your subscription for Geek Squad needs to be renewed today. Click here. Amazon, as far as all their scams they have on what you can do, like I said, I'll get this presentation to you guys. It goes through them all. the computer scams. If you get the revert, if I call it the red screen of death and the blue screen of death, these two right here. Red screen, blue screen. What's this right here? It has a phone number. I know this probably can't see it, but when you get one of these on your computer, your laptop, your tablet, don't call the number. It's the scammer, the malware, it's already on the computer. Don't call this number. When you get one of these, shut your computer down, take it to Geek Squad directly. If you know somebody in a computer club, there's a good one on the island right next to the sheriff's office. It's a senior center computer club. They are great people there. Go to somebody and take your computer and I have an issue with my computer. Don't let somebody remote into your computer, unless you know that person. If you have an IT person you're good friends with, family member, fine. But if you don't know the person, don't let them remote into your computer. It's a red flag when they just say, I'm going to fix everything, I just need to remote into your computer. I just need you to download this app so I can have access to your computer. Don't let have people, because once they have access to your computer, they have access to anything you've ever done on that computer. So if you do your online banking, look at your pension accounts, your emails, everything they have access to. So you need to be very wary of somebody who wants to remote into your computer or have you download an app to get access to your computer. We talk about check fraud. It is, I don't know what banks are going to do. They keep getting hit constantly and day after day with these check frauds. You need to, obviously, if you have been a victim of a check fraud, you need to make sure you tell the bank within 30 days to 60 days. Some banks, it's 30 days. Other banks, it's 60. But you need to verify your accounts and let them know, because if you go out that threshold, they're like, well, we're not going to pay your money back because you didn't tell us with a timely manner. Again, it's important to verify your accounts, verify that check was cashed where it's supposed to go. These are, again, phishing techniques. Your Wells Fargo account's been suspended. Click here. Restore your access. Verify now. Credit purchase via Amazon. Someone knows your password. Learn more. They're all just phishing techniques to get you to hook onto that so they can reel you in. It's a jury duty scam. Obviously, the toll plaza scam we talked about. Okay, I'm going to jump to data breaches.
Don't forget
PayPal.
PayPal, yeah, we'll go, yeah. So, data breaches. Who's lived here since 2014? Okay. Everybody remembers 2014, we had the Department of Revenue from South Carolina got hacked, right? Everybody's tax information got stolen. That was way back when, and we had to all try to work on our accounts, our Social Security number. Well, since then, the data breaches have been getting worse and worse and worse. And last year was one of the most significant ones because we had a ton of information stolen last year. So, in 24, you had Anthem, Health Medical Provider, Prudential, Financial was one of them. Turn this off. Okay. Prudential was hit, Facebook. The big ones, Change Healthcare. Did anyone get the letter from Change Healthcare? Okay, they were hacked. 145 million records stolen. Medical data, Medicare data, all that stuff. 2.7 is the biggest one last year, National Public Data. That was everyone's Social Security number. Everybody's Social Security number was stolen last year. So, what do? Right? All this information. We'll go back a little bit further. Back in 2018, you had Yahoo, Facebook again, Marriott, LinkedIn. What's Equifax? Credit card bureau, right? One of the credit bureaus. They got hacked. And then we had Target, and my favorite down the bottom, Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Yeah.
The bad guy. They're already in your wallet. They already have the information. I tell you this because of what you need to do, what they're recommending you do with your credit, not your credit, but your Social Security number and your credit yourself. They're recommending you freeze your credit. How many people have frozen their credit already? Oh, good. Somebody, great. All right. Is it scary to freeze your credit for those who did it?
No.
No, right? It's easy. You go to you go and have to report to each credit bureau. So you go to Experian, you go to Equifax, and you go to TransUnion. You call them, you go online to the web pages, and you go through the process of freezing your credit. And your question is, okay, freezing your credit is not bad. All it is locking your accounts down so nobody can open up new accounts. Nobody can get a loan in your name. Nobody can open up a bank account in your name. But you can still use your credit cards. It has nothing to do with your current credit cards. If you want to get a new credit card, yes, you have to unlock your credit. But if all the credit cards you have, all your credit you have right now is safe. This is just for new accounts. Nothing's going to get new placed in your name. If you don't want to put an alert, or you don't want to put a freeze on your credit, you put an alert on your credit. And the alert basically says, listen, I'm concerned. I don't want to lock everything down yet, but I want to be notified if somebody opens something on my name, basically. And if you want to put an alert on your credit, it's good for 1 year. And all you have to do is contact one of the 3 credit bureaus, and they'll let everyone else know about it. So 2 different options, freeze your credit or put an alert on your credit. Recommend you do one of the 2 moving forward. And they ask, okay, well, how hard is it to unlock my credit? I'll tell you, because I did it last month. I got financing for my son to get a car. I went to the finance place and was like, hey, I want to get a loan. For buying a car, they're like, okay, and I'm like, my credit's frozen. They're like, no problem. I asked them, who do you pull from? Because they only pull from one credit bureau. They said TransUnion. Perfect. Go to the TransUnion website, unlock my credit for 30 days. As soon as the 30 days is expired, they lock my credit back down. By that time, they've already pulled my credit, got my financing, I'm good to go. No issues. It's not hard to unfreeze your credit. It's not hard to lock your credit back down. Why do I say that? The data breaches and all the other stuff we talked about, your checks being stolen, your identity being stolen, the bad guys are going to account takeovers. What's an account takeover? Well, they get your credit card, or they get your credit information, they get your check information, they will start going to access your accounts at different banks that you have. So let's say you have Wells Fargo, they will go to Wells Fargo in North Carolina, usually one state away. They're going to have a fake ID with all your information on it, but a picture of them. They're going to go in there and they say, here's my account number, here's my ID, I want to withdraw $10,000, or I want to open up a loan in my name, or I want to open up a new bank account, new credit cards, or I'll get a loan for buying a car. They're hitting people's credit left and right because of this, and they're tearing up people's identity through all this data breaches. We get in reports daily about people's having, somebody opened an account in my name, someone did this in my name, someone got access to my HELOC, someone got access to put a car in my name. They're also going to go with that whole healthcare data. They're getting medical procedures in your name. So 2 weeks ago, we had a gentleman who called and said, hey, someone got a dental procedure and got a dental loan for work done in New York. That wasn't even me, but they used my Medicare information. Another guy had a knee surgery. I don't know how you get a knee surgery. If you think about all that, you have to consult, you have to go through the recommendations, but they went through the procedure, kept going through it and got a knee surgery, and all of a sudden the person down here gets these bills, explanation of benefits for this procedure, like, I didn't have a knee surgery. I'm not even up, in the upstate, where it was Massachusetts, but they're using your medical information against you to go get loans, to go get medical procedures done. So it's important, you really need to be on top of your accounts. Get that credit report every year. If you can, freeze your credit. Help yourself as we move forward in this whole day and age with all the information being stolen from us. We'll go to a couple of recent scams over the last couple of years. The first one, this lady gets called by the CIA, tells her accounts are compromised, her social security was associated with the cartel, that she has to withdraw $100,000 from her bank account to meet with somebody at the Walmart parking lot in Hardyville to safeguard her money while they investigate this. So she goes to the bank, withdraws the money, which I can't believe the bank gave her this cash, first of all. But whatever she lied, she told the bank they believed her, gave her the cash. She drove the Walmart parking lot, met the bad guy in the public side of the Walmart. She parks, he drives up in a white sedan. I got it on video, but it's too far away. I can tell you other than he drives a white sedan. He gets out of his car, he's got a Hawaiian shirt on, cargo shorts, and a hat. They must have talked for 10 seconds. She had a shoebox with $100,000 cash. She just hands him the shoebox. They said 2 words, and he gets in his car and rides off in the sunset. That was it. I want to say he's in Hawaii because he had a Hawaiian shirt on. That's where I believe he's at, but I have no idea. But she believed it. She fell for this confidence of the caller saying they had her information, they had her bank account information, they had everything they knew, everything about her. All they had to do was just get her to believe it was a federal government employee, and she fell for it. Going down to the bottom, this one went on for 6 months. It starts out, she gets called from the Visa Fraud Department. Hi, I'm John Smith. I work for the Visa Fraud Department. There's some unusual activity on your account. We think somebody at the bank might be involved, maybe the branch manager or the assistant manager is stealing money and transferring money through your account to other accounts. Some kind of money laundering. We think something's going on. We've got the FBI involved. They're going to call you. She gets called from the FBI. I am Agent Johnson with the FBI. I'm working with the Visa Fraud Department. We're working this case where we believe that somebody at the bank, your bank, is involved with some fraud, stealing money, wire transferring money through your accounts. We need you to help us with the investigation. We're going to send you a non-disclosure agreement. So they emailed her a non-disclosure agreement, FBI form and everything, where she couldn't talk about this case with anybody. Not local law enforcement, not her family, friends, priests, nobody she could talk to. And they said, we've set up an account for your safeguarding your money. And every couple of weeks, we want you to just transfer $10,000, $20,000, $30,000. So she was just constantly going to the bank and transferring money out of this account to this other account they safeguarded for her to the tune of almost $1 million. It went on for 6 months. They had her for 6 months on the line and almost got $1 million from her. These bad guys, the tricks they have up their sleeve to make people believe what's going on, I mean, it's you would not believe. So unfortunately, this day and age, don't believe anybody who calls and tells you things, right? It's a big thing. Don't believe emails and text messages. It's unfortunate, but that's the way we've gone these days, is you can't believe anything someone says on the phone. The romance scam. This lady in Sun City, she met this gentleman online. He was a lawyer. He owned a shipping company. They talked through Facebook, and then they actually talked on the phone. They talked daily on the phone. They prayed together. They talked about each other's family. For months on end, they felt like there was this great relationship they had. Then all of a sudden, one day, one of his ships breaks down in the Indian Ocean, and he needed $50,000 cash to fix the ship. I mean, you would think he owns a shipping company, he's a lawyer, he'd have that funds, but no, she wire transferred him the $50,000. Relationship continues. They were supposed to meet in Miami, he had to change plans. They were supposed to meet in New York City, that she had changed. Her daughter got involved, was like, Mom's just wasting her money away, this guy who she's never met. They're allegedly in love, they talk every day. So we go and try to talk to this guy. We went out there 7 times and talked to her, say, this is a scam, he's not real. I even talked to him on the phone. He could care less who I was. He knew he had her hook, line, and sinker. No matter what we said to her, she didn't want to listen. He convinced her to get a reverse mortgage. Sure enough, she loses her house. His daughter had already disowned her at this point. She was tired of dealing with Mom. We got the daughter back involved, like, listen, she's got nothing now. We get her to a retirement community. We think we're good. We tear off her cell phone, take away emails. We think we're good. 2 years later, we get a call from the manager of the retirement home saying, hey, we have a whole bunch of people on this floor who have been scammed. We don't know how. We go out to the retirement community, talk to the people, and then I see her. And I'm like, well, is she involved? Is she being scammed? It's like, oh, no, she just lives down the hall from these. Well, let me go talk to her. I go talk to her. Sure enough, she found a phone number, one of the books that she had. We had transferred during the move. She didn't use her phone. She used her neighbor's phone to reestablish contact with our bad guy. And she told everybody there, oh, no, this is my boyfriend, my fiance. My evil daughter put me here. We were supposed to get married. He's real. And that's when the whole thing started again. So when I tell you that the bad guy will stop at nothing to bleed you dry, they will stop at nothing to take your money and then find ways to try to take more money from you and other people. So you have to realize, some people don't even realize they're in the scam, and they might be scamming others. All right, Nancy Anderson. I want to show you this to you. Apparently it's too loud.
And I said, yes, officer, may I help you? And he said, are you Nancy Anderson? I said, yes, what did I do? He said, somebody loves you. And that was the girl at Walmart who turned me in, because otherwise I wouldn't have had a clue.
81-year-old Nancy Anderson never expected to have a deputy show up at her door and talk to her about being a victim of a scam. And it all started with a friend request on Facebook.
So I checked his profile and I looked at all his pictures, cute pictures with his 2 grandsons. And he was a contractor and he lived in Columbus, Ohio. And so I thought, okay, I'll ask him a question. Why do you want to be friends with me?
The online relationship began at that point just a few days after Valentine's Day. Nancy and the man she knew as Michael Henderson talked daily, sharing texts and pictures back and forth, even making plans for the future.
I think you're fabulous, and of course then I got all the compliments. You're beautiful and you're smart and you're funny and you're fun and all this, and I was like, okay.
Then Michael offered to pay off her credit card, the balance several $1,000s. But during that same time, she says Michael had a crisis and he needed money.
Can you please get me some gift cards so that I can pay the landlord the rent, because my mother's going to be released from the hospital hopefully in a couple of days, and I have to be able to take her back home. And so I thought, I've never got gift cards before. I don't even know how to do that. He said, it's easy, you just go to Walmart and you get me, I need $3,000.
It's unusual, but Nancy Anderson is a lovely lady who loves the sheriff's office, very supportive of us, and I'm thankful she tells her story because it shows the personal side of it, how quickly this happens. Nancy, interesting with that one is he offered to pay her credit card debt first, and then all of a sudden he had an emergency. Again, it's just the tactics they're using to try to get people lured in. All right, so We'll talk to one down the bottom here. This one happened recently. The victim was contacted by somebody who was the public defender's office. A relative was in an accident. They put the relative on the phone. She says it kind of sounded like the relative, but she wasn't sure. There was a lot of pressure involved, like high tension. This needs to be done now. We need money. They send her an Uber driver to pick her up, go take her to her bank. She goes, takes her to the bank, gets $10,000 off, goes back to the house. A couple hours later, someone shows up as the public defender to pick up the money. And this is inside Sun City. Now, how'd she get in? Well, there's lots of gates in Sun City. I mean, we don't know how exactly this lady got in, the money mule person, but we're finding more and more bad guys meeting with our victims to get money from them at their own house. So you need to be careful of not only, your surroundings, your house, and all these bad actors out there, they're international and national, locally. Just need to be aware of what's going on out there in the public. We'll jump over to contractor scams. Please do your due diligence when it comes to contractors. Make sure they have a license for what they're supposed to do. So if you're getting a new roof on your home and they don't have a plumbing license, that could be a red flag, correct? Right? Make sure you do due diligence. Check to see if they have a license for that company they're supposed to do. You go on the LLR website for the South Carolina Department of Labor License Regulation. Also check the solicitor's office to see if they've got any lawsuits against them. If they've got 10 lawsuits against them, it may not be a person you want to hire, right? So, reverse mail scams. If you get a check in the mail that says, hey, you want to be a mystery shopper, just take this check, go cash it for $2,000, and go buy a whole bunch of gift cards. That's a scam. If it sounds too good to be true, it's a scam, right? What they're trying to do is have you go cash that check. 2 days later, the bank's going to tell you that check was no good. Now you owe them $2,000. And by that time, you've already spent the $2,000 to buy gift cards, which the bad guys transferred money off those gift cards right away as soon as you buy them. So be careful with these. If you get a check in the mail, 100% it's a scam. All right, identity theft, passwords. Talk about this. Does anyone use FirstPass or LastPass? Okay, a couple people. All right, not saying there's anything wrong with them. For those who don't know, FirstPass and LastPass takes all your information, your accounts, puts them all together in one place to manages your passwords. One of those companies has been hacked. I couldn't tell you which one, but one of them has been hacked. Just be careful of your verifying your accounts. They may have upgraded the software since then. I had to warn people about FirstPass and LastPass. But if you're like me and other people who have passwords for all different kinds of accounts, it's important to safeguard those passwords. And to be real simple about it, some of you might actually keep your passwords next to your computer. I'm not saying I don't want names and I won't raise the hands, but let's say you keep a little note journal or notepad next to your computer with all your passwords. I ask you to be more cryptic about it. Because of the bug guy, the HVAC guy, the home health care worker, whoever's coming to your house that comes through can use their phone and take a picture of that notepad and now have access to your accounts because you've got passwords in there. Be cryptic. And it can be simple as cryptic as it can. If you have a Wells Fargo account, you put on your notepad, WF equals America. That's your password's America. America, to the one person, be like, okay, that's maybe the password. But to you, you know America means America, 1, 2, 3, 4, exclamation point. So if you want your notepad, you just put WF equals America. You know the last couple of numbers, digits, whatever you want to make it, so you know what it is. So if someone took a picture of it, they don't have the whole password. They're missing a couple of letters and numbers. So again, if you had TD Bank and you put TD equals Main Street, you know that Main Street 1970 is somewhere where you lived. Let's say Main Street in Washington, D.C. 1970 is the year you would move there. Whatever it is to make you memorize that letter, that number, so you'd have it. Again, by the way, America 1, 2, 3, 4 exclamation point is my password. You guys can't use that one. That one's mine. Thank you. You can't have that one. All right. ARP recommends better passwords, multi-factor authorization. That's when you sign in your computer, your bank account, and they send you a text code to your phone, right? Two-step authorization, great way to secure your accounts. Review your credit report, do a credit freeze, automatic software, just like on your cell phone, that asks you, hey, we're going to update your cell phone tonight at 3 a.m. Make sure you toggle that switch on your computer as well, to have a constant looking for updates to your computer. And don't click on answer on unseen phone calls, we know that one. If you're a victim, there's step-by-step instructions if you're an identity theft victim. If you're a victim of fraud, these are two you want to do, identitytheft.gov and IC3.gov. IC3.gov is the central database for all the frauds. So if you're a victim of fraud, file with the Sheriff's Office obviously, but we're going to have you also file with IC3. You're asking why? Because you might be 1 of 200 victims in the United States. You might be the one victim, and all of a sudden there's 200 of the rest of the United States, and someone else might be a federal agent out there working the whole case. We've had it a couple times this in the last couple of years. Had a lady who spent $30,000 in a wire transfer. That same day, 10 other people sent wire transfers to the same account in California. Had a Homeland Security officer up in Montana take the whole case. got all the victims together, and made an arrest in California. So it is working with these cases, but you have to follow the IC3. That way they know about it. If you're concerned, I always get this question, title lock. We don't have issues with title lock in South Carolina because you have to have a realtor and a lawyer present for any kind of transaction when it comes to real estate. So title lock is not an issue here in South Carolina. But if you're concerned about your property, make sure nobody does anything with your property, you can register in the title, register deeds office, do a property fraud alert. It's on the front page. You put in your address, an email address, your contact information. So if someone tries to do something with your property, you get an alert on it. All right, we're going to go to ChatGPT now. At the end here, grandparent scam. We're almost done. All right, they need 10 seconds of your child or grandchild's voice, or 10 seconds of little TikTok videos they're making these days with your grandchildren. They need that to reverse engineer it to fake it, to make it look like your grandchild, your child, or loved one is calling you or FaceTiming you, video call, and it looks like them. You need to be careful because these keep getting more and more elaborate, they're getting more advanced. We recommend that you come up with a family password to combat this. What's a family password? Just talk to your family and say, hey, listen, I'm concerned about these trends of this AI, deepfake. What can we use as a family password? It might be your favorite restaurant. It could be where you grew up. It could be the favorite dog. Whatever you want to come up with as a family to have a password. That way at 2 o'clock in the morning when little Johnny's calling you and he's all frantic because he got in a car accident, he's only got a few seconds because the judge is going to set bond. He needs money right away. Okay, Johnny, I want to help you out. What's the family password? 100% of the time it's going to be a scam anyway, because the judges there's no judge right there at 2 o'clock in the morning. That just doesn't happen. But people fall for it, unfortunately. So, come up with a family password. This one I just got today.
In a stunning development, Canada has declared war on the United States. Let's go to Joe Braxton, who is live at the border.
I'm currently at the border, but there is no war. Mom, Dad, I know this looks kind of real, but it's all AI.
Grandpa, I'm fine. This is just AI. You don't need to wire money to anyone. I am not in love with you. And I do not need your money for a plane ticket. I am AI.
This fake moon landing footage isn't classified. It's AI.
You're probably wondering how I got rich with crypto. The truth is, I didn't get rich off crypto. I don't even exist.
You might be able to tell this is fake now, but it's gonna keep getting better.
We're all AI!
There could be aliens, but I'm not one of them. I'm AI.
An herbal supplement did not cure my cancer. I'm not even real.
Uncle Fred, the government has not been taken over by lizard people.
You don't need to send us $5,000 in gift cards because you missed jury duty.
Grandma, it's not real. It's AI.
It's AI.
It's AI.
Bro, it's AI.
Fake faces.
Real consequences.
Think before you trust.
That was all AI generated. Every single part of that. How scary is that? I mean, some of that stuff you're like, I can believe that's a real person talking and look like they're a real scene of some, that's where we're going. And it's an eye-opener, because I just got that today and I was like, oh, I'm putting this on the presentation today. If you get bored one day, you want to see what kind of scams are going on in our area, the ARP website has a track a scam, put the zip code in, you can find out what kind of scams are going on. If you're really interested, on this day it was auto-related scams, business imposter scams, check scam, and cryptocurrency scams and frauds. All right, we're getting to the end here. How many people are scared? Okay, good, I did my job. All right, it's important as we move forward to understand you guys are the target audience. They're going to go after your money. They're going to find ways to do that. And you need to be careful with yourself, your friends, your family as we move forward in combating these frauds. I mean, I'm tired of every day having to deal with victims. Last week was $81,000. It's brutal to deal with these cases of people losing their life savings. I had one people back in September, they lost $370,000. It's gut-wrenching. And that's why I'm out here in the public. That's why I come out here, because I don't want to see one more person lose money in the scams. So please, know this is an important topic to your friends and family, your loved ones, moving forward, because I'm going to have to change this presentation up again in probably 6 months, because there's going to be a new scam out. I just did it 3 months ago, so I've already got new stuff that I had to put on here, because it's ever evolving. So, all right, appreciate everybody's time. Do you have any questions for me? Oh, before I get one thing, the grandparents game on 60 Minutes, great watch.
You know what's really funny?
Sorry. 60 Minutes had a great episode on the grandparent scam. Just go on YouTube, put 60 Minutes grandparent scam, watch it. We don't have time today, but it's an amazing episode. All right, questions? Yes?
I just did have Microsoft said you need to update your software, blah, 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 blah. And I did click on it, and I thought, they're not getting any money from me or whatever, so why would that be something
Does it
suspicious?
download something to your computer?
No.
It just said you needed to update your...
Yeah, like click here and, you know, and something happened, but, and it really did look, because I'm very careful about not going to links.
When's the last time you did something, like as far as a scan on your computer, had somebody scan it for you?
Somebody else scan it?
So my advice would be just to go to the safe side, maybe go to the senior center next to our sheriff's office, go to Key Squad or somebody in IT, just hey, I clicked, you know, this thing on, you know, to update for Microsoft. I just want to make sure there's nothing to put malware on my computer. Because it could have been as simple as...
It would be malware, not that they're getting money on it.
No, they'll put malware, but now every time you put a keystroke, go to your bank account. They're watching, they get those keystrokes. So it's important. Yes, sir.
It's not a question for you, it's just a couple things. I was the IT guy at my old company, and my boss clicked on an email that said your password needs to be updated. If you ever get an email that says your password needs to be updated, that's garbage, okay? He clicked on it, and what happened was it put a rule in his email, and it said if there's anything that says money, transfers, checks, payments, divert all the emails to this email address. So now they're spoofing his email address, and said, oh, we're going to change the routing number for these transfers, and we lost $100,000. So they're very tricky. The other thing too is a firewall or a router is very important. We watch ours. We're getting pinged by China. So how many times a day?
Oh, it's like every 5 seconds.
Every 5 seconds. China's trying to get in and say, okay, let's see if this is an opening. Can we get into your accounts? So make sure you've got, you know, just not plugged right into the internet. You've got a firewall, some kind of protection. And if you're not familiar with that, you know, you can find.
It sounds like you need to start a computer club within Moss Creek.
Yeah.
I mean, that's. So in case if you're bored and want to really do something and help out, it sounds like a computer club is weird. I mean, because Sun City's got over 3,000 members of their computer club. They're a great. They have a, you know, I know a couple other places in different plantations have computer clubs. Again, the senior center next to us is a wonderful place to use. But again, if you want to start one here, it'd be great.
I just would like to follow up with one quick question. I'm sorry. How do you follow the pings? How do you find the pings from China?
Well, it's our firewall router is, we log into it and it tells us where these are coming from.
Yeah.
Couple more
Yes, ma'am, back.
Hi. A lot of times when you get an email, it might just be junk mail, maybe it's a potential scam. At the bottom, you can click unsubscribe. Do you advise doing that or not? I've heard different things that you want to.
I advise not, because then it's going to take you somewhere you probably don't want to go.
So
And you're going to
don't
delete it.
unsubscribe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
But part of the problem is that if you visit a website, you're immediately going to they're going to find out what your email address is, and that's how you get all those advertising things. Now, I had a question about Aura. Are you familiar with Aura?
Or the shoplifting network, Aura?
No, Aura is similar to LifeLock and whatever. But
I don't know
it was
much.
highly rated, like it was the #1 rated on Consumer Reports.
I don't know much about it. No, ma'am, not to give you any information about it. I don't.
Yeah, I've been actually inundated with PayPal invoices lately. I just ignore them.
Be careful of getting a bill, like anything from online, but even a bill in the mail. Google got hit with this one where someone was sending them a bill every month for janitorial services on the building, $300 a month. Google was just paying it through years. And then they realized that we're getting double booked here for janitorial services on building J. By that time, this guy already gotten thousands of dollars from Google. So again, if you get a bill for $25 and you think, oh, I'm just going to pay it, please do make sure it's what you're supposed to be paying for, and it's not just some scam that I'm trying to pay a bill. So, any other questions? Yes, sir.
What about where do we save our passwords?
Where do you save your passwords?
I mean, we use them like LastPass.
You You use LastPass? If you feel comfortable with LastPass, I'm just letting you know that it has been, one of those two, FirstPass or LastPass, has been hacked in the past, and that's why I'm kind of cautious to tell people that's the way to go because of those, one of those companies has been hacked. So
Keep mine in the password protected spreadsheet.
another way to do it, yep.
What was that?
A password protected spreadsheet. So you have your own spreadsheet that you get the password even get into that document. I want to thank you all for letting me come by here. Oh, one other question, yes?
I would just like to warn you all, if you're going to the Geek Squad, go there.
Yes.
Do not call that 800 number, because I got in a little trouble with the 800 number, because they always used to take over your computer years ago and fix things. And I had, you know, the service and everything, well, they sent me to somebody who wasn't part
Right.
of it.
And that's why I say the red flag is do not let people remote in your computer. If you know anything, don't let it remote in your computer unless you know that person. Because if you don't, they say they're with HP customer support and you've been dealing with HP customer support for years, if you don't know that person on the end of that computer, you may be having a bad day or they've been hired by the other a malware firm to do stuff to your computer. So I'm just against letting people remote in unless you know the person. So, any other questions? Well, thank you guys very much for allowing me to come today.
What do you think? Good information, huh?
Yes.
We love having Lieutenant Calendine, and as he said, he has spoken to many communities. It's not just us, it's everywhere. And there's just so many things that we need to look out for. You know, you get a call, it's Moss Creek Security. You know where we're at. You know our number. You know, if you need that help, if you think something's going on at your house, call us. Let us help you, okay? Happy to do that. Our next presenter, Sergeant Sorenko. He's been doing this for a long time as well. He's a good guy. He's got you and your family's best interest in mind, so Sergeant Sorenko.
Ladies and gentlemen, how are you?
Good.
So now that Lieutenant Bad News is done, you can call me Sergeant Good News because I'm going to have something positive.
That's good.
So, how many of you have heard of Project Lifesaver? It goes around, people hear the name. So, Project Lifesaver is a program that has been around a while. It's based out of Florida. The purpose of it, so if somebody, and I will back up a little bit, as I get older, I'm learning about this thing called arthritis. It's new to me, but I'm learning. So as you get older, various medical ailments come along. One of them, unfortunately, with family members is cognitive decline. That can be dementia, that can be Alzheimer's, a host of other memory issues. Project Lifesaver, and I'm going to pass this around. I've got two of them. So this is the actual bracelet that you would wear. So I'll start one on each side. So that is the bracelet you would wear. You enroll in the program, and we would put that on your loved one, and it's not heavy, not very cumbersome. You wear that, and what it does is it has a simple watch battery in it. It puts out a beacon that we have devices that can track it. Lieutenant Calendine has it there. So if you think of watching a show where there's a lion in the Serengeti and they stand on a hill and they're moving with a beacon or with a tracker and they're trying to pick up a signal, it's almost exactly the same. And that's honestly what we do when we try to locate someone who is lost. So that tracker would put out a beacon. We can tune into its individual frequency. No one shares the frequency. They are only you get that frequency. We program it to that frequency, and from there we can move around. Now, we have the capability of putting an antenna. We have handheld units which are smaller, which are more precise. From there, I can put an antenna on the outside of my vehicle. I can drive around with an antenna that gives me an increased range. Earlier this year, we did training where we put an antenna on a helicopter, and we flew through Beaufort County, and we located deputies who were acting as patients, but we were able to locate them through a helicopter. We can get on a boat. We have all the assets, all the capabilities to get up. So the nice thing about this unit is we can use the helicopter and the vehicle to get into an area. From there, we can use the handheld unit to get us close. From there, I can direct our canine team. I can direct search and rescue. In the event that it was a water rescue, I can try, or close to water, I can direct the boat where we need to go. But we have a lot of assets. We also train deputies on the road. So even though I may manage the program or assist with the Bluffton Hilton Head aspect of it, we also train our road deputies. So if it was 2 in the morning and a family member went missing, walked out the door, and you called me and said, my husband is gone, I can get on the phone, I can direct all of the road units where to go, what does he look like? We keep up with pictures, we keep medical information, who is his doctor, what does he typically wear, where does he typically go, does he have a boat? In that case, would he be prone to water? So from there, I can tell all the units where to go, and that increases our chance of finding them. I say that because Project Lifesaver right now boasts a 100% recovery rate. For individuals who are actively wearing the unit, we have a 100% recovery. Right now, I think the latest on the website is 4,463 recoveries.
Wow.
So we've never lost anybody. The cost, which is typically a question that people ask me, there is no cost to you. It is completely free. You come to us, we ask you some questions, we put it in the database. From there, I just update it every 3 months, 6 months. I'll get a picture of you. If something changes, we just update the system. But there's absolutely no cost to you. The biggest burden to you is about maybe 30 minutes of your time a month. The device has a watch battery in it that is good for about 90 days. Because it puts out such a strong signal, it wears out quickly. We replace it monthly. So we do not wait the 90 days, we go every 30 days. I come by the house, I open up the back of it, put a new watch battery in, put it together, put it back on the wrist, and I'm gone. So your time in a month would be 15 minutes to 30 minutes. Now, some people like to talk, some people, unfortunately, if you've ever been around anyone with cognitive decline, you know that when you meet them for the first time, or every time you meet them, it's the first time. So sometimes when I show up, some people are amazed at how I know their name and their family and everything about them and everywhere they've been, and I know their whole life history. So I like to talk to the people, I like to get to know them, because in the end that helps me find them, should I need to find them. Other than the tracker that you handle, this is the only other equipment you're going to get. So outside of the 15 to 30 minutes every day, all we ask is that you just take this, you put it on the tracker, it will show a red light. That's it. That's all you need to do. I'll give you a piece of paper, you write down the date, you say that you checked the equipment, and you go about your business. That is it. That is all you have to do. So it is very short on your end. 1 piece of paper per month, I'll take it from you, I give you a new one. Again, there is no cost.
Is it waterproof?
Yes, ma'am.
We'll go with water resistant. You can't go scuba diving with it. We'll go water
But
resistant.
if someone goes in the shower?
They go in the shower, absolutely. Yeah, you can't go below 33 feet underwater. So if you're a scuba diver, that you can't do that.
So when I open it up and I change the battery, there's a rubber O-ring in it. I also have some silicone gel that I'll put around the threads. So not only does the rubber O-ring keep the water out, but the gel, think of it like Vaseline, I guess, it'll keep the water out as well. That is something that I change monthly. But I have people that swim, I have people that boat, shower, live your life, do what you have to do. Don't let this keep you from doing something. And I have extra cases. Right now I have a young man who's 14 years old. He is, I would call him middle to severe autistic. He swims every day. It's one of the ways that he can stay active. He has broken a case for me every 3 months. I just go to the house, I change out the guts of it, I give him a new case. But it helps him, it's therapeutic for him. And so the water to me is, I would rather replace a case every 3 months than him to not have it. Unfortunately, with his autism, he sees water and he does not perceive a boat landing different from his pool. One is the same to him. So when he walks down to the landing, he gets in the water thinking, this is my swimming pool. And I don't think I have to tell you what could happen. So I would rather him die than be rough with it and break the casing. I'll come by, I'll change out the casing. To him, it's nothing. To me, it's security. I'd rather him be able to be found with a working device. Yes, sir.
If you have a person who wanders, who suddenly has a moment of lucidity and realizes that they are lost, is there a self-activating feature to it so that they can call for help?
No, it's not like an Apple Watch. You cannot make calls, you cannot receive anything. It is only transmit. It only sends out a signal on a specific frequency that the device would track.
Thank you.
Yeah. Ma'am?
When Beaufort County Sheriff's Office reports something on Everbridge about a missing person or something like that,
Okay.
they never report the race of the person, which, you know, it's kind of hard to be on the lookout if you're not knowing what you're looking for, other than, well, he was last seen wearing blue jeans and a hoodie. That doesn't say much.
We try to send out on the social media the picture, but I don't think Nixle we can, or Everbridge.
But
may
not
be able-
on Everbridge.
Not on Everbridge. I don't know if we can send out the photograph, but like just in a normal, it does send out the photograph?
Yeah, it's attached. If you open it
We
up.
usually, but the last person we had missing in Indigo Run, we sent a picture out of her.
Yeah, it's on Nixle.
Yeah, we've sent out pictures of the missing person.
I've never seen him.
Okay.
Well, you need to click on it.
Do you, ma'am, do you use Nixle?
It's Everbridge now.
No, I
Okay.
use Everbridge.
Yeah.
That was actually something that Moss Creek sent out
Yeah.
a year or two
So
ago.
Nixle got bought out by Everbridge, so everything's gone over to Everbridge now.
Okay.
That's what's going on. When I say Nixle and Everbridge,
Yeah,
Everbridge
but
now.
usually those descriptions don't include race. They might include height. You know, they'll include sex, but it's like, well, that's not really helpful. You know, I mean.
I'll talk to our PIO. That might be something we just need to correct. But a lot of times we send a picture of our especially a missing person. We'll send a picture of the person because we have already been filed when it comes to when it becomes a Project Lifesaver client. Now, if it's somebody that's just went missing and we're trying to get data, we might just put it out. Hey, law enforcement is looking for a person,
Right.
but you're asking for the race. Okay, I got it.
Right, I'm asking for the race
Okay.
because at least, you know, we know what's going on.
I'll ask our PIO to do that.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
So the only other thing that I can add to that is in regards to travel. I'll use another one of my clients as an example. So he is 6, he is autistic, he is very high functioning, so he will probably age out of the program. But he and his family are originally from Puerto Rico. So the company is mostly domestic, but it is also international. So every summer, he and his family go to Puerto Rico for 2 months. They go visit their family. When they go, he takes all of his information with him. The state police in Puerto Rico have Project Lifesaver. So when they arrive, they notify him that they're in the country, they give him the information, and for his monthly battery change, Puerto Rico does the battery change. So just because he's from South Carolina doesn't mean that I have to do it. He doesn't go without the program. He gets it changed in Puerto Rico by the state police. They update the system. They have my contact information. So if there was an event, if something happened, they can call me. We can go back and forth, and we can keep tabs. I have a gentleman right now who is currently en route to Wisconsin. They have made contact with all the local agencies between here and Wisconsin. So if the father goes missing at a rest stop, goes missing at a hotel during travel, all of the agencies, they know who to call, how to call, they carry the information with them. There's another young man who was in the program, but he and his family were from upstate New York. That department in New York had the program. Several times they would change the battery for me because he was there. So it's not a Beaufort County specific thing. It does travel, it's international. And if you called me and said you're from another state, I wouldn't bat an eye at all to go change your battery. Also, speaking locally, this young lady is going to speak on Memory Matters. I have 2 of my clients that currently go to Memory Matters. Trying to pair up my work time with their time sometimes can get a little bit difficult. So I respond to Memory Matters. In the middle of the day, I pull them out of whatever program it is. I take 7-8 minutes of their time. I change out the battery. They go back to their program, completely done. I don't have to go to their home. So there is a lot of flexibility. The young lady that you were speaking about from Indigo Run, a lot of times her and her husband would be going and doing yoga, and from yoga to swimming to kayaking to running, they would be everywhere. I could never pin them down at their house to change the battery. I met them at boat landings, I met them at lunch. I probably met them more out of their home than at home. So I am everywhere throughout the course of the day. It doesn't mean I have to meet you at your home. I can meet you anywhere and change the battery.
She was a marathon runner, and she ran a lot. I mean, that was impressive, you know. And when she went missing, we're like, well, what do you now need to track a person who's a marathon runner? That's a huge pace that you have to field an area, which these things came great because we'd get on scene and, okay, there she is over, you know, we track her right down.
And you asked the question, about having a lucid moment. She walked 2 miles every time. Every time she went away, She would slip out the back door, she would go 2 miles, she went to the same location, and then she had what you described as a lucid moment, and she said, I don't know where I'm at, I'm gonna sit down, eventually security will come by me. And when security came by, she flagged them. They said, hey ma'am, you want us to get you home? Sure, they took her home. So she would be in the moment and be wandering, but then she would come to realization that I'm gone, I don't know where I'm at, but she would have that moment and say, hey security, can you get me home? And so it's very flexible. So I don't have the fancy screen, I don't have notes for you to take, but what I will give you after this is my phone number. If you have a question, if you feel like you want to pass it off to somebody who may need it, who you know is getting to that point, I have absolutely no issue if you call me. I will talk you through the program, I will tell you everything you need to know. The 3 parts for qualifying. You have to have surrendered your driver's license. You have to have a diagnosed cognitive disorder, 24-hour care. Now 24-hour care can be a loved one, a son or daughter, or a in-home health aide. So as long as you have health care 24 hours a day, someone to keep an eye on you, you've surrendered your driver's license, and you have one of a few diagnosed disorders, you qualify for the program. Now, right now I'm speaking on the older crowd, but also autistic. Low Country Autistic Foundation pays for another side of the program specifically for autistic kids. So I speak on that because a lot of you are grandmothers, and if you have a granddaughter, grandson who are autistic, they may qualify for the program at no cost again. Low Country Autistic Foundation foots the bill for that.
Do people at continuing care facilities wear these?
I'm sorry, sir?
People have moved to continuous care facilities.
So there are several continuous care facilities in the county. Typically what happens is if you are in your home and you are in the program, if the time comes when you need to move from your home to a care facility, if it is one that has secure doors, constant surveillance, nurses 24 hours a day, they typically refer to it as a memory care unit where the patient cannot get out. At that time, the bracelet would be removed. Because at that time, there's really no need because you are under 24-hour surveillance. You're in a locked section of a locked hospital with 24-hour eyes. So at that point, we would remove it because the possibility of you roaming is kind of gone. Unfortunately, construction workers do like to leave doors open frequently. So in that situation, we will respond. But it's not something that happens very often. So typically, when you move into a memory care unit, we will remove the tracker and then set it aside for somebody who needs to come into the program.
For those who want to hear what the signal sounds like, it's like bird dog training and tracking. That's what we get. And so if I go, it's loud over here, but if I go over here, it's a little, so you go for the sound and the pulse on the equipment. That's how it works.
Yes, ma'am.
Are there programs like this in other states?
It's, yes.
Is it called the same thing?
Yeah, it's Project Lifesaver. It's originated in Chesapeake Bay, Virginia, and so it's throughout the United States. It's international, different countries.
So who would you contact to?
So whatever you lived at, if you lived in whatever in that area, you can reach out to the sheriff's office. Okay. You can also contact Project Lifesaver directly because if the program's not in your area, you can buy something now for your own home to track your loved one through this technology that if there's no law enforcement agency in that area.
If you go to the Project Life, what I've done with the clients that travel, if you go to the Project Lifesaver website, all the way at the very bottom it says find an agency. It's a map of the United States, you put in your zip code, and it will populate a map with all of the agencies in that area who are members of Project Lifesaver. And I believe United States-wide it's up to 600 agencies. So it's gaining in popularity, but like with the Sheriff's Office, our training that we did was with Jasper County. So with Jasper County, we have mutual aid agreements. If there was a county who did not have the program or did not have the tracking capability, we would respond to the mutual aid agreement and we can assist with that track. Or we can assist with our resources to locate that individual.
This is a very time-consuming job that you have, and I just want to, tell you, I have an autistic grandson who's doing great now, but when he was younger, that would have been very helpful and reassuring for his parents, I'm sure, to have something like that.
Yeah, believe it or not, it really doesn't occupy a lot of my time.
Really?
Because I think right now I'm at 10 clients for Bluffton and Hilton Head, and I only need to see them once a month. And so, and that's spread out over the month. I don't, so typically when your day comes up, if you had the 17th of the month, previous to that, I would call you on the phone and I would say, I see that your battery change is coming up. What works for you? We can go a day before, 2 days before. I can tell you right now, I will be out of town next week on vacation. I have 3 people who are scheduled for next week. I'm changing their batteries today and tomorrow. So I'm going ahead of time because I'd rather go ahead than later. So there's a lot of flexibility. If you're out of town and you're going to be gone, we can push the battery change a week, or we can go a week early so that you have a strong signal while you're out of town.
Just very kind and very accommodating. It's just wonderful to hear this.
It's trying to pair my schedule up with everyone else's because it is a spectrum of some people are very active, some are not. Some the young man I spoke of, he's in regular school. He's 6 years old and he's in kindergarten. So when I change his battery during the year, I meet him after school on the playground. And I have to be quick because he's actively trying to get to the jungle gym. But you have to be flexible. So it's not we don't need to meet in your home every single time. I'll meet you anywhere you want me to as long as it's within the working hours and I can get there.
So any questions else for Chad, Sergeant Taranka? Thank you, guys.
More great information, right?
Yeah.
And, you know, we keep in mind, you know, I'm a little biased to law enforcement, obviously, but, you know, these guys don't just do this. You know, they're out there on the road protecting people as well. This is what they do above and beyond their regular job. So that just goes to show you how much they care for people in general. So some great guys, and we do appreciate both of them coming here. Our third presenter is going to be from Memory Matters. Again, we've kind of touched on this. Very important. We've had some issues in Moss Creek over the years. We're happy to be part of the solution. So if you have any concerns, don't be too proud, okay? It's family, so let's keep them all safe, okay? Debbie.
So the first time I met the sheriff, I was at Memory Matters, and he came in the front door, and I'm like, you know, maybe those toll notices really were true. Maybe it wasn't a scam because I've just been deleting. And then I learned about the great service that the Beaufort County Sheriff's Department provides through Project Lifesaver, and that is they go to where the person is to service the battery. And do that well check, you know, do that check-in, that human touch that we have seemed to have lost in our country. So thank you so much for doing that for our families. Memory Matters really appreciates that very much. And then Lieutenant Caladine, he provides education on scam and other safety issues to our caregivers who we support on a daily basis. So, brain fact, our brain really doesn't do well after 40 minutes of sitting. So, let's just stand up, just stretch, that's right, stretch. And I would appreciate if you would stay. That would be a great thing. All right, so stretch now. I want you to sit down, and we're going to do a brain exercise. Okay? And one of my favorite stretches is, let's do this. Let's pull up our shoulders if it's safe to do so, and then release. How about we roll our shoulders back 3 times if it's safe to do so, and then we roll them forward 3 times. Okay? Just loosen that little tension a little bit, okay? Now, let's do a brain exercise. Everyone take your index finger, it doesn't matter which one, take your index finger and draw a circle in the air clockwise. Now I'm going to give you some instructions. Keep drawing that circle in the air. Now I want you to take your foot, it doesn't matter which one, and I want you to draw a circle with your foot counterclockwise. Did anyone do it? Did anyone do it? Okay, good. Good, good. Okay, so tonight when you get home, this is your exercise. I want you to do something different with your brain. Avoiding the brain rut. Our brain is a use it or lose it organ, so we want to do things that challenge it, that are different from our regular hamster wheel rotation, okay? Now, I want to talk a little bit about memory matters. So, first I want to hear what you already know about memory matters. Yes, ma'am.
I understand that you give, and I have attended some out of interest sakes, very interesting lectures that are very helpful. You have a panel of professionals, lawyers, doctors, and counselors, and you also give respite for caregivers.
Yes.
That's about all I know, really.
So our educational series, which is held annually, and this year it is free, and we feature different experts. So that's part of our education, our learning opportunity outreach. Our next one that's coming up is October the 8th, and it's going to be at Grace Community Church. It is a retired attorney. He was an attorney for Ralph Nader his whole legal career until he developed mild cognitive impairment. Mild cognitive impairment. This is when there's a change in the memory, and it is now impacting the daily life. Still independent, still driving and thriving, perhaps, but there's a change in the memory. And so when this happened to him, his name is Sam Samuel, he despaired after he got the diagnosis. He and his wife went into a very deep, depressive state of thinking. And then they had a light bulb moment and decided to do something different. And they chose a creative path, and he is now a professional actor and playwright, and he travels all over telling people what it's like